Hello, and welcome to finally episode 6 of Taking on Trek. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dave. And how many fingers am I holding up?
Too many.
That's not damn funny.
So, what's going on?
Not too much in the past 12
I
hours.
was
We
just
just
saying,
did this.
well, not too long, sadly, still see.
And I'm still drinking coffee.
Same here.
Same cup.
I've also got my Snapple and possibly a beer if I need it. I like to stay well hydrated. The
Yeah,
only thing
well,
I don't have is water.
yeah, none of that stuff hydrates you. It
Yeah, everything does
dehydrates
the
you.
exact opposite. I know. So, it's been way too long since we've done one of these particular episodes. So I wanted to make sure
Uh,
we could do it early today and make sure we could actually do something silly like get it out.
yes, he's gonna. We're gonna rush this.
Well, we're not going to rush it, but I do have to be able to pick up my fiance by 4:30, and it's 2:20. So we
Yeah,
got
we
some
got
time.
2 hours.
We got some time. So, do you have any Star Trek news? Is there anything
Yes,
going on in the world we
I
should
got a
know
little
about?
bit. Or I got one big one that was actually posted about 5 hours ago.
Okay.
Oh, after 50 years in disarray, the an iconic piece of the original '60s Star
Oh
Trek
yeah.
show is been put back together,
It's the
and
Galileo shuttle, isn't it?
yes, I didn't finish.
Oh no,
Thank you
I
for
was,
spoiling the story for me.
dude. It's a story that's been out there for a while. I just couldn't remember the name of the shuttle.
Yes, but would you like to finish?
No, no, it's your story. I was just making sure I knew which shuttle it was.
Yes, it is the Galileo. I
Thank you.
didn't. I didn't actually say it was a shuttle. I just said it was an iconic piece, and I was building up to that. You know,
Oh,
and you just shat on my performance.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I hope you break something. On
I
Wednesday,
live with
July
my fiance. That's my spirit broken.
well, on Wednesday, July 31st, the Space Center at Houston, the Visitors Center, has permanently put on display the shuttlecraft Galileo in their museum. Um, that's just freaking cool, considering not long ago they actually found the thing looking like shit. It was just messed up beyond belief.
Yeah, it was.
They probably took a team of engineers to restore it, even though it's just a prop, but it's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad that they did this because it was literally just sitting in a junkyard, and I can understand why. I mean, okay, the series is done. What use do they have for it? What are you gonna do with a prop when you're done with it at a TV show back in the day? Ah, not back in the '60s. At that point, you got to remember, Trek was canceled at that point. So they went, well, oh well, take this, dump it. We don't need this prop anymore. So it had been sitting out there since '69, '70, you know? And thankfully these fans found it, were able to get the money together, fix it up, and now it's getting ready to go to a museum, which I think is awesome.
Actually, as of you know today, it's
Yep.
already in the museum
And hopefully it'll end up in the Smithsonian at some point. I think it belongs there next to the Enterprise herself.
next to the captain's chair.
In between the captain's chair and Archie's chair.
Those will be
What?
those will be the chairs in the shuttlecraft.
There you go. Archie screaming for a beer and Kirk screaming at him for him to shut the hell up.
Stifle.
Actually, he'd be screaming at Ethel to get him a beer, and Kirk would be trying to sleep with her.
Oh come on! You just ruined that show for me, man.
Oh no, you and I called her Ethel for some reason. I don't know why.
Edith.
Edith.
But you
No,
just ruined that show for me.
you want something that'll break your mind.
My mind's already broken.
I need you. I gotta look this up so you can look at this afterwards. There's a episode of Earth-2.net. It is episode 572. It is about sequels and spin-offs and crossovers in television and movies. Um, this guy managed to actually connect at least 25 separate shows all together to at least another 15 shows that all come back to a certain ending to a certain hospital show where everything is the dream of a little autistic boy.
Oh, St. Elsewhere, huh?
Oh, yeah. And believe it or not, this includes Knight Rider, both versions of Knight Rider. Actually, all three versions of Knight Rider because I forgot about Team Knight Rider in the 90s.
What about the movie?
Oh, yeah, because that's in continuity. But, yeah. It also, believe it or not, means Star Trek is in that universe. All of Star Trek is the dream of an autistic boy.
Why not?
Because,
Deep Space Nine was, the dream
well,
of a
yeah, well, think about
crazy
that.
guy.
Now, here, think about this. Newhart, the original Newhart, is in that universe, which means that the second Newhart series, when he wakes up, is a dream of Newhart, which is a dream of an autistic kid. Benjamin Sisko, dreaming of DS9, is the dream of an autistic kid. I'm listening to this at 4 o'clock in the morning. I almost had a damn nosebleed. Just go listen to this. It's hysterically funny. But anyway,
Did
back
they
on.
did they use Kevin Bacon to connect all these shows together?
No, no.
That would have been cool.
Detective Munch.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, he
So,
was in the Flash.
oh yeah, he was in The Flash. The Flash is part of that continuity. He was on The Wire on HBO. The Wire is in that continuity. You're gonna love this. He was on Arrested Development, which explains a whole hell of a lot about that show.
He was on Homicide.
Hmm
Same
He,
character too, from a different.
but now you've got they connected Alias to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek because hey, they managed to carry over a drink, and J.J. Abrams deliberately did that. The slushy drink was in both shows. J.J. Abrams deliberately did that as an in joke for Alias fans, which means they're in the same universe as well. But now, what else is in that universe? Oh, the Oceanic Airlines, which is in Lost. Oh yeah, and by the way, that's also in X Files. Guess who showed up in X Files later on in the season? Detective Munch. All of that shit goes back to St. Elsewhere.
Great. I am the dream of an autistic child.
It's pretty much.
So that basically doesn't matter what the hell I do.
Yeah. So basically, Star Trek never existed. Sorry, folks. End of show.
Oh, I'm finding more stories actually. We got. Uh,
Well, you want to do one more quick one, and then we'll hop into the.
one more, and then you do yours. About
Okay.
this one is actually Shatner about Shatner and a cross country motorcycle trip. A call from Kentucky artist Dowie Bloomberg to William Shatner has led to plans for a cross country motorcycle trip for the 82-year-old Shatner. Now Shatner, the former horse trader turned sculptor, Bloomberg told Shatner that he wanted to do a motorcycle for his next project. So Shatner's going the way of
The dodo if he hits the ground the wrong way when he
oh
falls.
god, that'd be funny. But he's going the way of the biker. He's trying all these different things now that he's older. I think,
Hey, you know what? What the hell? Why not?
but there's
He's old
actually more to
enough.
this story. Um, you a couple, like let's see. There's other stuff like Chris Pine, new Disney movie, Into the Woods, and Carl Urban possibly being looked into as Bruce Wayne in the new Superman movie. Dramatic pause.
No.
Why not?
He's already Bones. He's already Judge Dredd. He's
That was
been
just a one.
Caesar. And he's been Cupid. For the 5 people who remember that fact, yes, he was Cupid. You can only play so many superheroes or gods.
All right, you had a story. I'm sorry, I got carried away.
No, that's. What are you apologizing for? They're a hell of a lot better than mine.
Yeah, yours is about what? A T-shirt?
Mine is actually about a contest on WeLoveFine.com.
Ah,
It is being judged by LeVar Burton and Matt Myra, which means Matt Myra probably grabbed LeVar Burton, tied him to a chair, gagged him, and is forcing him to do part of this. But this is their second T-shirt. You just pictured that, didn't you?
no, I just keep flashing back to the Thanksgiving episode of Attack of the Show.
Yes, Matt Myra and
John
John
Barrowman
Barrowman.
drawing dicks on TV. At that point, they were getting canceled. They didn't give a fuck.
They really didn't care.
They were swapping gum.
Oh yeah,
Chris Hemsworth pulled keys out of John Bowerman's ass.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry. Chris Hardwick.
When did Thor show up? See, Chris Hemsworth came up and took keys out of his ass. He was very Thor afterwards.
Oh, bad.
It was meant to be.
I'm
But
sorry.
anyway, they're doing a second Star Trek design your own T-shirt contest. As I was saying, LeVar Burton and Matt Myra, who used to be a host on Attack of the Show, and is currently a co-host on the Nerdist podcast, as well as the Nerdist television series. Apparently, this is extremely successful last time around, so they're doing it again. I'm just going to quickly run through the rules, and then we'll go from there. Here are the rules. Submissions must be received by 11:59:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on August 6th, 2013. You may submit up to 5 entries per person. All entries must be in one of the following formats: a GIF, a PNG, or a JPEG. By entering the contest, promotion, you indicate your full and unconditional agreement to and acceptance of A, the official rules, and B, Mighty Fine's sponsor decisions, which are final and binding. Winning a prize is contingent upon fulfilling all requirements set forth herein. And then basically it's, oh, shut up. See, he's no fun. He has no imagination. Star Trek Star Trek titles characters, which may be submitted for the contest, are from the original series, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise, and any of the motion pictures. You may not use any likenesses of any actors who appear in the J.J. Abrams movies. So you can only use everything else. So
What if you put Kirk?
basically, you could draw Captain Kirk, but don't make him look like Christopher Pine.
Yes, but they said you couldn't use the actors' likenesses. What if you put, uh, let's say, Shatner's Kirk on the bridge of the new Enterprise?
You might be able to do that. Doesn't say anything about the ship. Just the it says you cannot use the actors' likenesses. Basically, you could put Kirk in the new Starfleet uniform on the bridge, or you could put Shatner in the new uniform on the bridge of their version of the Enterprise.
I'm giving her she's good.
So, and so far they've got 222 designs submitted. So you've got a few days left. If you've got any ideas, send them in.
Ooh.
I think you got one more story.
No, I'm just looking at pretty things like the Star Trek 10 movie Blu-ray collection.
Okay, on that note, I think we should get to the episodes.
Yeah, sure.
And Dave will be starting with Cold Front.
And you're an asshole for making me. Because guess what, folks? I forgot this episode because it's been so long since we taped.
Well, it's not just that, it's the fact that he thought it was another episode, too. So, I don't know when the hell he watched this episode. If it helps any, it's been over a week since I've watched him as well, so. And I can't find my bloody notes, so.
I remember doing this episode. He doesn't remember it, or maybe it was that time that we recorded and it didn't go up.
Oh my god, I think that's what it is.
You bastard! It's your fault.
No,
So we did do it.
the computer died. That had nothing to do with me.
All right. Well, first episode up today is Cold Front. Quick summary. Start out on the nursery of the Enterprise. Or they're on their way to a stellar nursery, basically. Actually, an alien transport ship carrying pilgrims who are there to view what they call the Great Plume of Agosaria. I believe that's pronounced.
I believe so.
It's a stellar phenomenon they hold dear in their religious belief. Archer invites the pilgrims aboard, says, you can watch it in our, in the cafeteria. They got good windows. Basically, that's their version of the 10 forward. You'll get a good view of everything. They accept, they accept it and decide to go over. The guests are greeted without incident, following a tour led by Archer. They get a plasma storm, and you see one of the guests rip out a with like something out of the nacelle of the Enterprise during the engineering tour. During the plasma storm, they get hit, but we find out later that if that cord hadn't been pulled out, it would have destroyed the ship. The plasma feedback would have gone into the nacelles and obliterated the ship.
Which basically makes everybody wonder if this was done on purpose or not now.
Yes. You also got wandering around a man by the name of Crewman Daniels. He shows up in the beginning, and throughout. They make sure you see this character, before they introduce him. What the hell was that?
My apologies. I needed to take a Tums real quick.
Dum, 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 dum. Crewman Daniels is introduced actually in the beginning of the episode. You don't know who he is, but he's got a talking line, which suggests that, he's going to come up later on in the episode. You
do see him once or twice earlier in the series as well, when he's delivering food to the captain.
Yeah, but this one he's actually talking to the captain, and, he just comes off as, going to be important in this episode. Crewman Daniels begins explaining what's been happening, about the plasma storm and everything to Archer, and starts regaling him with events of the temporal Cold War. Says that he's from the 22nd century.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was about to dispute that, but
Oh,
no,
I'm
you're.
sorry, I said that wrong. Claims that the 22nd century is an important front for the war.
Yeah, I don't think here he says where he's from. I believe later on it's. I think he states he's from the 30th
Yes, I
century.
actually made a mistake.
No, it's okay. You're looking at the same information I am. Just read it wrong. I
Um,
did that last night.
he shows, he's got this little Palm Pilot thing that shows Archer all the timelines and whatnot. Archer, skeptical, but um, before he shows him that device. Now, on a little side note, we should notice that, we're going to go back to the Pilgrims. You've got Dr. Phlox, who's very interested in what's going on with their religion. He decides to spend the night on their ship, and he basically learns a new religion and its practices overnight. So he can, experience what it's like to be them. He's a as we've seen from his character so far, he likes to experience many different things. And religion is, an important aspect of different cultures. To most cultures. I'm not very religious myself. Let's see here. Where did we leave off? Captain Archer offers Daniels his cooperation. Should be noted that the person that saved Enterprise earlier was Silic in disguise. The Suliban from the Broken Bow episode.
In other words, Green Rice Krispie Man. They look like they're covered in Rice Krispies. I can't help it.
It's a Rice Krispie treat man, yeah.
Yes.
So basically, their enemy saved their life. Silic makes contact with the captain because he wants to find out who's looking for me. How do you know about me? How would you know I was here? Let's see here. He learns from an unfortunate communication to Paul, from T'Pol that it is Daniels who is seeking him. And before stunning the captain, he presents relative arguments about Daniels being just another faction of this temporal war everybody's talking about throughout this season. In engineering, Daniels brings his sensors online. Tucker notices movement, and we all that the Rice Krispies men, Silic, can they have like a built-in chameleon ability. They can match their background. Silic appears, shoots Daniels, and who seems to explode. That's what it says here. Seems to explode. Dr. Phlox revives Archer after, Silic had knocked them out earlier. And Archer realized that Silic had stolen Daniel's little device, the temporal observatory. That's what they called it. After Tucker works out Daniel's how the sensor system works that Daniel's put in, he pinpoints Silic's location. Archer goes after him with another device that allows him to walk through walls.
Yeah, and they have a brief little fight. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It's what I think is like a molecular phasing, tool.
Yeah.
Or a temporal phasing.
If for anybody who's been watching Transformers Prime, it's what the character Smokescreen has been using.
Yep.
And so pretty much the exact same device.
After a brief struggle, they end up in the shuttle bay, during which turbulence from the plume disrupts both men. Archer destroys the temporal observatory device, and by shooting it with the phase pistol. Silk escapes, however, by flinging himself out of the shuttle bay. They can do that.
Evidently. He goes,
um,
I can do this because fuck you. Pretty much. That's what it
lastly, Silk
is.
tells the captain, "You may have endangered your future," which is either a warning or, a threat. Depending on how you're looking at the episode. Leaving the captain with the final puzzle. After that, they go to Daniel's quarters, puts what's left in there, and they seal the quarters so nobody can get in.
And then they all went for cake. Oh wait, that's the next episode.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this one?
The temporal war thing drives me nuts, and I talk about time travel constantly. My paradox meter is off the scale.
Well, we'll just talk about this particular episode for now.
Okay, so something in the past affects the future, and nobody knows who the good guy is, other than the fact that one of them looks human.
Pretty much.
And now they're making Silic out to be the bad guy, but all I could think of is Obi-Wan Kenobi. What I told you was true from a certain point of view.
Yeah. Well, if it helps you, if you really want to see something that'll confuse the hell out of you, go look at the Enterprise J. That's the Enterprise from the 30th century. Not essentially sure what's going on with this design. You will see it later on in the series. You'll see it briefly. I saw it. My mind went no, because it looked like they hired a crackhead to design it. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that episode. I actually like this episode. I do kind of like the Cold War, the temporal Cold War. Just wish if they were going to do it, they would have done it a little bit better than what they did. I think this has one of the best special effects scenes of the series so far, and
Which one?
that's when they turn on the I apologize, I forgot the temporal observer, and you see all the different points in the
Space time.
timeline spread out. And for a TV series to pull something like that off and have it look that good and stand up as well as it does 10 years later, that's saying something. And it looks really, really good. I like Daniels. What did you think of Daniels?
Mm, he kind of comes off as cocky as Kirk used to.
See, now I saw the opposite.
Humble,
I don't.
but he's also humble. That's
Yeah, yeah. It's he knows what's going on. You can tell that he's even fairly sure that he's going to die at some point during this, but he can't and won't tell anybody, which is what he should do. He should keep it to himself. But and
I love Dr. Phlox in this episode.
yes,
And how
because it's
open-minded he is. He's just,
because it's Dr. Phlox.
yeah, he's like the best character. He takes things in stride.
Yes.
And he's open to trying everything new.
And our Hoshi complaint meter this week is at 0.
Really?
Well, for this episode, because she didn't do anything stupid.
Oh,
Her and Mayweather had a little fun at the captain's expense. Well, not at the captain's expense, but you get the security chief. He's on the bridge at one point and tells him, he says, you've got the con, and he walks off. And him and Hoshi kind of look at each other and she goes, well,
you gonna sit in the chair?
what, you gonna sit in the chair? No. Should I? God, haven't you ever wondered what it's like? I can wait till I'm promoted. Okay. Kind of looks over and sits in it. He goes, ooh, nice fit. He's bridge looks a whole lot different from here. Thinking it would mind if I fired a torpedo,
Uh,
and then and then what's his name walks back in. Shoot, I can't remember. Security chief. I keep wanting to say Trip, and it's not it.
shoot. Now you got me doing it. Reed.
Thank you, Reed. Reed walks in and just kind of looks at him like, really? Really? I'm gone for 30 seconds. Really?
I
He's like,
said name.
he goes, per- permission to come on the bridge? And he's like, I'm sorry. Just walks back over to his con and starts typing away. Uh, but all in all, I think it's a pretty good episode. I enjoy it. Got some good action scenes. How about you? Would you
Yeah,
recommend it? Especially if you're a continuity buff.
I am a continuity buff, but the people. This is it's a confusing storyline altogether. As we'll find out later on.
Yeah. See, again, so far I'm not finding it confusing, but I know it does jump all over the place. So it will get confusing if you're not paying attention. Blink
I mean,
twice and
Doctor
you're
Who is
you're not.
easier to follow.
He lies.
No,
Yeah. Okay. Well, you tell me where a couple of those stories fit in.
I will tell you, wibbly wobbly timey wimey. That's all you
Yeah.
need to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got news for you. Guess what? If wibbly wobbly timey wimey works for that crap, it works for this crap too. So give it up. If they can pull off a Doctor Who TNG crossover, anything is possible.
Oh God, that's so funny too. Matt Smith didn't even know about the crossover.
Oh, neither did um Marina Sirtis either.
I mean, yeah, you go over to at Comic Con a couple of weeks ago, and he's just like, "Oh my God!" They're interviewing him. He's like, "There's a Star Trek crossover? How come nobody told me?"
He goes, I need to read it. I need to read it. So I guess we could both recommend watching it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to speak for you. I want to make sure.
Yeah, it's got some good action scenes. The stuff with Fox is funny, and it's better than the next episode.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Why did I give myself this one? Silent Enemy.
Mm.
A ship shows up, doesn't say anything, flies away. Archer tries to find out what Reed's favorite food is because it's his birthday. The other ship shows up, takes a couple of pot shots at the Enterprise, and flies away. Hoshi, instead of trying to figure out maybe what these guys are saying or maybe using the communications to find out where they are, is still running around trying to find out what Reed's favorite food is. Because evidently she's a dumbass. Enemy ship comes back. They decide to make phase cannons. We have to go back to Earth for these. Evidently they don't because they used scrap metal to build three phase cannons. Where did they get this extra material from that they could only find at a starbase?
Do the communications
They
array?
replicated it out of Trip's ass.
No, no. They used the rest of the arrays.
Nope. No. You know what it was? They had Nibbler on board. He
Shut
shit out a
up!
lot of dark matter,
Shut
and they
up!
used that. Um, the alien ship comes along again, takes another pot shot at the Enterprise. The Enterprise says, "Screw you," fires back. The other ship goes, "Ah, they can hurt us," and flies away. Then they make Reed a pineapple cake. The end. Oh, and they dropped a couple of subspace amplifiers along the way. Did I miss anything?
Not really.
Am I exaggerating by saying that's pretty much exactly how this episode went?
This episode was nothing more than a reason for them to introduce the phasers.
It was, and I truly don't understand why Archer made finding out, and it's like I said, because Hoshi's a dumbass. It's not Hoshi's fault. Archer told Hoshi that her top priority during this emergency situation is to find out what Reed's favorite food is. If his own parents don't know what his favorite food is, what the hell makes you think anybody else? Then she's got that scene where basically Reed thinks he's hitting on, or she's hitting on him. It's just,
No,
ugh.
and this actually, believe it or not, that whole thing with her searching and not being able to find out anything about him leads into continuity later on in the series about what he actually does, or
Oh yeah,
did for a living.
yeah.
Or
Does, did, still does, whatever. Um,
the aliens, they call them shroom heads.
yeah, I don't think they even have a name. I'm gonna
No,
go.
they don't have a name.
Let me go to.
Actually, I do think they do have a name.
Oh, I'm heading over to Memory Alpha now to find out.
They had a name, but they've appeared nowhere else except I think once in a video game and in the books.
Let's see. They just keep saying the alien ship.
See if I was able to get into my. Let's see.
Well, I'm in there now. I'm taking a look real quick. But did you have any parts of this that you actually like? I mean, I did think it was a sweetness to the episode where they're trying to find out Reed's favorite food for his birthday. Okay, that's sweet and all, but this was just the wrong episode to be doing that in.
Mhm. I mean, you got aliens that show up, go away, show up,
Ah,
shoot you,
I
show
apologize.
up, put your go
Good.
back on and put your members on a crew, in a coma. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that's right. A couple of the aliens got on board the ship. I apologize.
and they
And
left like something in one of the shuttle bays that was
yeah, they
messing
left a
with
little
the ship.
camera.
It was actually messing with the ship too.
Yeah, and then they shot that, and then it went back to we got to go back. The name of the race, because it turns out they showed up in Star Trek Online, are known as the Alachi.
Yeah,
They act as allies of the revived Romulan Star Empire under the command of Empress Sella and the Tal Shiar.
yeah, they worked with the Romulans and the Remans,
Yeah. Ugh.
but
But
you don't see them anywhere else in the series,
no,
in
you
any
really
series.
no, you don't.
They kind of look like your almost like your classic gray,
Grays.
big-headed. They have no mouth. You know,
I mean, we're not joking. We're genuinely trying to find things to say about this episode because it's a non-episode. Nothing happens. I don't hate this episode.
actually, I'm looking at Memory Alpha. I'm looking at under Hostile Aliens from that
Yeah.
the Melcot, right?
In this episode, no. Give me a second.
Well,
They're called the Lychee. Spelled
well,
Elachhi
the
or
question here:
Alachi.
Melcot, an alien Melcot are actually from the original series. Basically, kind of looked like a brain with two eyes floating.
Yeah, a little bit. They're
So
not
they
the
have no
same
body,
species though.
huh?
They're not the same species though.
It well, it could be. I mean, they look the same. The only difference is, the other ones were wearing what could be mobile suits, for bodies. I
Yeah.
mean, you should look at a picture of the Melcot here, and it looks pretty damn close.
Oh yeah. Oh no no no! It's got a similar design to the head, but I mean, this could have been a really really awesome episode. We didn't need to see the aliens. This could have been a really good cat and mouse game, which it was trying to go for. Could have been very very much like the original series episode, where the first time they run into the Romulans. But the problem is you've got this dumb ass sub story going on,
Mm.
and that kills part of the tension because it doesn't seem like you're taking the rest of it seriously.
And all this for pineapple.
Yeah, it's,
All of it had to do with pineapple cake, to put in the cake.
yeah. Excuse me, Balance and Terror. That's the episode I'm thinking of from the original series. I'm sorry, but and I think that's what's worse is it really genuinely could have been a damn good episode. It's not a horrible episode, but really it could have been a whole hell of a lot better than what it ended up being.
There's also been comparisons to these aliens in the show to the ones that kidnapped Riker and a few crew members in Star Trek: The Next Generation, as not members of the same species, but a similar species. Remember that when they were taking Riker through the wormhole and doing tests on him?
No,
They were
no, I
taking him
don't.
and Geordi, and they went into the holodeck to recreate this thing that those.
That I vaguely remember. Okay, okay, yeah, I could see a little bit of that design in there too. Um, so yeah, we've had similar versions of these aliens show up, but not actually the same species. But yeah, it's kind of sad because this is one that I don't like, not because it's bad, but because of squandered potential.
Mm.
And those are never necessarily bad episodes. Those are disappointing episodes.
Other than the fact that they needed to go and they just need this episode was an hour long reason, quote unquote, for them to put in the phase cannons.
Right, and
Yep.
that's the other thing is they're saying, oh well, we need everything from space dock. No, we don't. We got it here. Did you take the warp nacelle apart?
Well, they had the ability to make it themselves. They had all the stuff,
I
but they
understand.
didn't have the training to do it. So
Right, they didn't have the training, and I'm sorry, I don't believe they had all the parts for that. I really don't. They just happen to have two phase cannons sitting around ready to be attached. If that was the case, why would they have needed to go to
they left.
an Earth base?
Remember, they had left space dock early. They had brought that up in the episode.
Yeah,
They left
it
in
was supposed to be
such a
installed
hurry.
next Tuesday, and it wasn't. Sorry. I apologize. The joke was right there.
Horrible. Can't believe I laughed at that.
But anyway, do you have anything else to say about this episode?
I give it a 2 out of 5, and that's generous.
Yeah. Basically, I'll say if if you're a huge fan and you really want to be a completionist, watch it. Like I said, look at it more for the potential that was there and that was squandered.
This is my big thing about Enterprise. It pisses me off. They like to introduce aliens that you never saw.
Well, I
You
have
know,
no problem with that, but the whole point of this show was originally going to be we're going to introduce these aliens and explain why they're not around anymore.
yeah. Well, they've done that
Which
with
they quite kind of do with
they've done that with one alien only
Silic.
so far. The aliens on shoot, I forgot the episode we did last time where they went on the planet. The lizard people.
Gorn.
No, they weren't Gorn. They were a different type of lizard person. Remember when they were in that industrial society?
No.
Huh? It was just shit. Now you're gonna make me look up the episode, aren't you?
Oh, you mean Civilization?
Yes.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Those aliens they introduced, they were actually destroyed by Nomad in the original
Yes,
60 series.
I do remember that. But I've got nothing else to say about this episode. Um, yeah, like I said, it's kind of a you watch it, but beware. Just skip over the whole birthday subplot because at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Um, if you'd like to give them where they can give them the information on where they can reach us,
Why can't you? Why do I
because
always got to do it?
I'm going to give them what we're going to talk about in the next 2 months when we record another episode.
Uh, Check us out at wobblypod at yahoo.com or at gmail.com. Leave us leave us some mail, fan mail, hate mail. We don't care mail.
Just
Um,
open an email. There's a J sitting there for no reason. That's still better than what we've got.
um, Also, check us out. We're here on YouTube. You can leave comments on the videos, and we're on Facebook at wobblypod.
And I just realized this is our first video for taking on Trek as well. So, okay, and next time on Taking on Trek, we will be looking at the episodes Dear Doctor and Sleeping Dogs. Until next time, I'm Joe,
I'm Dave.
and don't have too much fun, and we'll see you next time.